And now, NBC7 San Diego News.
This Tuesday, voters will consider Proposition 35, which would toughen penalties for human traffickers and change the way law enforcement treats children who are forced into a life of crime. This comes amid new efforts to publicize the plight of young women trapped in prostitution and help them break away. Tonight, a story of rescuing innocence. They blend in with the more than 1 million homes in San Diego County.
We have nutrition classes for the girls. We have nurses who come in.
Secret safe houses like the two run by Susan Muncey and her organization Generate Hope, which house, heal, educate, and psychologically counsel young women who break away from a life of forced prostitution. Women like Jordan, who ask that we conceal her face.
I mean, they have a couple shelters, but to have like a real home where you give girls the opportunity to, get their GED or get a job, I think that's huge.
These are young American kids. These are our kids.
Muncey, a social worker and sex trade survivor herself, started this program because there was no other comprehensive resource for girls and women trying to break out of prostitution rings in San Diego, among the worst in the nation. Many of the statistics you might find shocking. First of all, many of the girls who enter prostitution are between the ages of 12 and 14 years old. Also, the FBI says that San Diego is among the top 8 cities in the entire country for child sexual exploitation, mainly because of the large tourism business here. Another fact, many of the girls who enter prostitution aren't from overseas or south of the border. They're from our own San Diego neighborhoods. And last, a favorite recruiting ground for pimps these days is the shopping mall. After leaving an unstable home life, Tiffany Mester was forced into prostitution when she was just 13 by a man who became her boyfriend, or so she thought.
He said, if I just got kicked out of my mom's house and I don't have any money, and if you could just help me out a little bit, I would really appreciate that. And then he told me that he wanted me to sell my body.
But once a girl has turned one trick, her life is never the same. And he's not the same anymore either.
The boyfriend turned pimp started to beat and threaten Tiffany if she tried to leave, as he went online to sell sex with her using internet classified ads.
If I didn't make the money, then I wouldn't be able to come to the hotel room and eat. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would have to go out there and make the money.
After a year and a half of nearly dying at the hands of some Johns and her pimp, she finally got a chance to escape when her pimp was arrested. Tiffany sought help, got involved with a local church, and began to heal.
I started to find my value in poetry and art and just in being able to create something that I felt good about.
Advocates who want to make it much easier for victims like Tiffany to escape and get help,
he said he would take care of her,
have backed Proposition 35, which if passed Tuesday will increase jail time for human traffickers and train police officers to better recognize non-consensual prostitutes and steer them towards help instead of a jail cell.
So we want to make this the riskiest business that anyone can be in, is selling young girls and women for the sex trade.
I used to be like them.
And grassroots organizations like San Diego's Speak Up Revolution are trying to change public perception in hopes that more people will see those forced into the sex trade as victims and not criminals.
But the thing is, if we ignore it, it's not going to get any better.
Project Hope's Susan Muncey says she sees the success of intervention every day, with many of her safe house residents going on to college, good jobs, and happy lives.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to see the changes.
Prop 35, which has little organized opposition, still has some critics, some in the legal community who complain that anyone getting financial support from consensual prostitution might be forced to register as a sex offender for life. Whatever happens in the election, Generate Hope will continue helping young women. If you want to help, you can go to our website, NBC7.com, and search Generate Hope.
All right, really interesting. Thanks so much, Mark.